Good morning. I'm Dr. Isreal, and I'm the staff physician here. Can you state your name, please?
My name's Derrick Scmidt.
And how old are you, Mr. Schmidt?
I'm 45.
Mr. Schmidt, do you know why you're here?
You want to assess me to see if I'm crazy. That's fine.
You are being assessed, and it's my role to do that this morning
Fine.
to determine your competence to stand trial
Yeah.
for the crime that you have been accused of committing.
Well, just so you know, I haven't really committed any crime, but you people think I did. What I did was I stood up for myself and my people on the street, and I'm being blamed for that.
Can you describe what it is that they say you have done?
Me and some friends were walking down the street, and we saw an Arab guy with a white woman, and that was not appropriate. So we just decided to step up and do something about it.
And what is it that they say you did?
We just walked up to him, told him to get away from the white girl. He wouldn't do it. He mouthed off. He was disrespectful. So we shoved him down. We kicked him in the head. And that's it.
Mr. Schmidt, are you aware of where this man is right now? Do you know what has happened to him, what his physical state is?
Yeah, somebody told me he's still in the hospital. So what?
And so you have no remorse about any of that action.
No, I did the right thing.
Are you aware that the action that you admit doing on that day with the Arab gentleman is against the law?
Let me ask you something. If somebody walks up to you and puts a gun to your head and tells you that they're going to shoot you, and you take the gun away and shoot them, were you in the right?
You're the one who is giving the answers this morning. I'm the one asking the questions.
Yeah, well, now I just asked you a question. I mean, would you be right to defend yourself? That's what people don't understand. That's what a lot of white people don't understand in this country is we have the right to defend ourselves. We shouldn't just roll over and play dead because somebody wants us to.
And so it sounds like you are saying that if somebody comes up to you and puts a gun to your head, that you have the right to defend yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that white people have the right to defend themselves and their culture because we're being pushed out, we're being squeezed out, we're being turned into victims. See, that's the thing. I'm not the perpetrator. We're not the perpetrators. You're white. You're not the perpetrator. And you don't understand that. People have been telling you that you're the perpetrator, that you're doing this and you're doing that, and you don't have a right to defend yourself, and you believe that.
Well, let's talk about that.
All right.
I'm very interested in your perspective on what's right and what's wrong. First of all, what is it? What is the right approach to take when you see people on the street and they say things to you that are unkind or unpleasant, mouthing off? Typically, what do you expect a person should do when they're approached in that way?
This is something people don't understand about me. I don't want to hurt anybody, you know? I just want to protect myself, and it's right to protect yourself. You're talking about is it bad to do this? Is it bad to do that? You know,
Yes.
And is it right or is it wrong? Well, it's right to defend yourself. And if somebody just goes away and stays the hell away from you and your people, then you don't have to hurt them.
How's your memory in general? Would you say you have a good memory?
Yeah. Okay. You're trying to figure out if I'm crazy. I understand that. Well, I'm not crazy. Yeah, I got a good memory.
Yeah. Okay. How did you learn how to believe this way? Who taught you that? Did you learn it in school?
No, they only taught me how to be afraid in school.
How have you learned about what's right and what's wrong? Who have been your teachers?
It was my father and my brothers. They taught me what's right. And how to stand up for myself and how to stand up for my people.
Mm. And who are your people, Mr. Schmidt?
White people. White people that are being pushed down by people like you.
You respect your father and your brother a great deal.
Hell yeah.
Now, when did you start? Is this an older brother or a younger brother?
I've got two older brothers.
Okay. And you're the youngest in your family, or do you have sisters as well?
I have a little sister.
I see. Okay. Um, Tell me when you began to take the law into your own hands. How old were you?
I was 13.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like you to tell me about what the circumstances were when you felt that it was your right to defend yourself.
My older brothers, my brother Gerard and my brother Robert, they took me out and they bought me beer. I was 13. You know, you're not supposed to have beer when you're 13, but they took me out and they got me beer and we were drinking.
So you know that it's against the law to drink beer when you're 13, is that correct?
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
But I was with my older brothers and they took care of me. They always take care of me. Your brothers always take care of you.
Mm. And you seem very pleased about that. Am
Hell
I
yeah.
reading you correctly?
Hell yeah.
Ah, okay.
They're good guys.
Can you let me know if you're hearing anybody speaking to you besides me?
I know, I get it. You want to find out if I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. There's no voices and there's no ghosts, okay?
Just in your head.
There's just my memory of what I've read and what I've seen and what my father and my brothers have told me.
Yes.
And there's memories, and memories speak to me. Now, maybe when I say to people, I hear voices. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about some literally. I'm not talking about literally voices, ghosts. I'm not talking about ghosts. I'm talking about the memories of the stuff I've ingrained in me.
I got it.
When you read something that really speaks to you, when you see something, when your father tells you something, when your brothers tell you something, when you see your own little sister do things that are sweet and wonderful, you remember that stuff and you stand and you keep that in you and you stand up for that when that stuff's threatened.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not crazy. I've become a victim in this country, in my own country, because of the Arabs and the blacks and the fags and the liberals and the people who enable them, people like you who enable them.
I see. And you seem to have a pretty clear idea of what I'm thinking about you and how I would act outside of this room. Would you agree that you seem to be putting people into groups based on the color of their skin, their background, their heritage, and assuming that they're going to act a certain way? Would you agree with that, Mr. Schmidt?
If somebody backs you up against a wall, they don't say, I'm going to kick your ass, but they back you up against the wall and they look like they're about to do it. You have a right to defend yourself. So some people are clever, you know, like liberals and fags and Jews, they're clever. You know, they know how to muddle it. You know what I mean? They know how to threaten you without actually saying they're threatening you so that you look like the bad guy. They're very clever.
I don't understand yet how you came to learn these beliefs. I know that your father and your brothers are very important to you.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is how you all came to believe this about these very distinct groups of people. Can you tell me if any crime or anything that's been very unfortunate has been done toward your family that has caused you to believe this or believe it more strongly?
Yeah. So, see, people like you don't understand. Somebody hurt my little sister.
I'd like to understand more about that.
It was a spick.
Yes.
He pushed her down and he hurt her and he punched her in the face and he gave her a black eye and he thought it was funny. And then the Jew-ass fuckers in the courtroom let him go.
Sounds like you believe that something else should have happened to him. Is that right?
Yeah,
What do you believe should have happened to him, Mr. Schmidt?
I think he should die.
And what happened to your sister as a result? How old was she? And what happened to her?
She was 12.
Was she sexually abused as well?
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay. I can tell by your expression that this is something that was very crucial.
I don't want to talk about it, all right? I'm sorry, I don't want to be rude.
If I said to you that the mouthy Arab gentleman who said things to you that bothered you and caused you to feel that you needed to defend yourself, and therefore you and some others knocked him down and kicked him in the head. If I said to you that I have knowledge that he passed away this morning, how would you feel about that?
Well, I don't want to talk about it. Thank you.